So now we'll start with the new concept. That new concept is a remote login and file transfer. So in a remote login, what we are doing, if you want to connect to a particular system that is not present in your physical area, then we can go for a remote login. So for normal cases, when we are connected in a network, then at that time we can connect by using the client server program. So we can write the client server program so that we can use whatever the resources we want from the server, then we can use those concepts. But whenever we are going for a normalized concept, like we want to connect to a particular system, but for each of the system we have to write the client and server program. So without writing the client and server program, if we want to do it, then how we can do it? For that purpose, we need some general purpose client server program, so that we can use for all kind of servers and clients, so that that general purpose of client server programs will be helpful. So for that reason, we are having one general purpose client server program. That program is TELNET. So TELNET is helpful when we are going to access some of the resources from the server. Then at that time, TELNET will be helpful. So here we are going to see that TELNET is a general purpose client server program which we can use as per our requirement. So this is the concept where we are going to discuss about the remote and local login. So this first figure is telling about the local login. In the local login, you can see that here we are having the application programs are there, and we are having a terminal driver is there. Within the terminal driver, we can access any of the files that is required for our cases. So whatever the things is there, like in our own system, we will have the client and we will have the server, so that we can access as per our requirement. But when we are going for the remote login, so in that case, when we are having an internet connection in between the client and the server, then at that time we have to do that. We'll have a telnet client at the client side, and we will have a telnet server at the server side. So in here you can see in the telnet server side, we are having some of the application programs are run. So if the client side wants to run anything on the application program that is running on your server, or the client wants to access anything from the server, then at that time it can use the concept of telnet, so that it can access all the required resources from the server. And the next is we will have the concept of NVT, that is network virtual terminal. So the meaning of network virtual terminal means why we are going for that. Whenever we are connecting between the client and the server, then at that time the client and server, they may not have the similar type of operating systems and similar type of platforms. So if we'll have a different type of platform, then the client and the server, they cannot understand the language of that. So for making it a unique one, we are using a NVT character set. So the NVT character set, it can change from the local computer, and it can change to the NVT character. Then this NVT character can be understandable by the server. So that's why this NVT character is uniquely accepted by all the client and the server. So in case of the NVT character, we are having two types of characters are there: data character and control character. And this data character and control character are of 8 bits, both are of 8 bits, and the MSB, like most significant bit in case of data character, it is reserved as 0, and in case of control character, it is reserved as 1. So in this case, you can see that from the local computer we are having a different character set, and at the remote computer we are having a different character set, but they are changed into the NVT character set. So here you can see some of the NVT control characters. These are already predefined characters are available, like EOF is for end of file, EOR is end of record, IAC is interpret as control. So these are the some of the NVT control character sets are available, we can use as per the requirement. So here another concept is there, one example we are going to discuss, that is how we can embed those NVT characters. Okay. So we are going to use the concept of cat file name in your DOS. When we are going to create a file, then at that time you can use the command cat file name, sorry, cat file space file file space the file name. But due to some mistake, if you have written that cat space file, after that you have not given a space, you have written a, then what we are going to do? So this is the solution for that. So cat space file, then you have written a. So what we will do, we'll use some NVT characters. So for that NVT characters, we are using first the IAC, that is interpret as control. That means what is the next character we are going to give, that next character will be a control character, so that we can use those characters. So after the IAC, we are going to use the EC, that is erase character. That means which character we have written wrongly, that character will be erased, and the next character will be taken as the next value we have given, that value is 1. So a will be erased, that means cat space file, and a will be erased, and the next file name will be 1. So this is the way how we are going to use the embedding of the NVT character. Okay. So the next one is some of the options we can add. These are the some of the means we can add some of the new concept and more options that will be available for the users. So in these options we can have the codes as 0, 1, 3, 5, 6. These are the some codes are available for the respective options. Like for the binary, the code is 0, and for echo the code is 1. So in this way we can use some of the options. So later we will see how these options are helpful. Then the next one is NVT character set for option negotiation. So when we are going to use those options, what are the options we have just discussed? If we want to negotiate those options, then we are having 4 concepts are there. One is first we'll use do or do not. So if first of all we are going to ask by using the concept of do, if that will okay, then it will give that will okay, I will do that. Okay, if that is not okay, that means that is not ready for doing that thing, then at that time it will give the reply, the server will give the reply as do. Okay, so we'll see now how it is working. So one of the example we are going to use, where we are going to use a echo server. So echo server means here we are having some options are echo is there, so we are using that echo server here. So here you can see, if the client wants to use the echo server, then the client will first start the enable options. So first it will give the IAC, that means interpret as control. That means whatever the control signal I am giving, so interpret as a control. Then after IAC, the next option will be do. So then the first you are approaching that whether we are going to do or not, so you will send as do. Then the what is the type of option? The option type is echo. Then after it will reach at the server, then the server will reply with the IAC. The first character will be IAC, then the next will be will, okay, I am going to do that, and the operation type is echo. So in this case, this option negotiation between the client and server, now it is completed as the echo option negotiation. Then some of the sub options are also available. Likewise, some of the options are available, also some of the sub options are available. We can use those sub options. For the sub option we can use, there are 2 things are there. One is SB, like sub option begin, another is sub option end, SE. Okay. So the next one we can see that if we want to use that sub option. So when we use sub option, if we are going to use the terminal and we are going to mention the type of the terminal, then at that time we can use the sub option concept. So during this sub option concept, we can see that from the client it is sending the ISC, like interpret as control. Then the next concept is will, okay, and the next type is terminal type. That means I will enable the terminal options. Then in the second type from the server, the reply is coming as IAC. Then first concept is IAC means interpret as control. Then okay, do, then the terminal type, then do enable the terminal options. Then after that the client will enable the terminal options. So what it is enabling, first one is IAC, so interpret as control. Then the second option is sub option begins, then the terminal type, and what is the terminal type? VT, like virtual terminal it is given, so VT. Then the second is ISE again, so another interpreter control you have to use. So the control character is SC, that is sub option ends. So in this way the sub option negotiation will work. Then the next one is we are going to discuss about another concept. That another concept is file transfer. So what we are going to do in that file transfer, when you want to actually transfer some of the data from one computer to another computer, then at that time you have to use the concept of transferring of files. So now in internet, when we are going to transfer some files, then at that time the mostly commonly used file transfer protocol is known as FTP, that is file transfer. Okay, so in case of FTP we are using two things, two connections we are going to use. One connection we are going to use on the port number 21 for the control connection, and another port number we are using 20 for the data connection. So in FTP connection we are having two things we require. One is data connection, another is control connection. Okay, so the next one is we are going to use the FTP. Here this is a picture, it is representing about the FTP. You can see here, in when we are going to use FTP means we are going to use FTP in the TCP IP protocol suite. So in the TCP IP protocol suite we are having two types of connections. One is data connection and another is control connection. So in control connection, first we will establish the connection, then we are going to actually transfer the data. So in client side we are having user interface, control process and data transfer process, and in the server side we are having the control process and only the data transfer process. We don't have the interface here in the server. Okay, so the next one is we are going to use the control connection. In the control connection we are having the control process at the client side and the control process at the server side. In both the cases, client and server side, we are having the control process. And when we are going to negotiate the control connection, then we are going to use the NVT ASCII character set, because this is the character set that is understandable both by the client and by the server. Then after the control connection is established, then actually we are going for the data connection. So now already the path is established, so we can send the file type, the data structure, the transmission mode. So by using those concepts, actually we can send some of the files. So after the control connection is over, only our data connection can be started. Then the next one is just an example of FTP. So you can see here, when we are going to use FTP, so the command is FTP, and here one website address is given, FTP that address. Then after that the message is coming as connected to that website. Then it is asking for the please log in with user and password. Then you are actually giving the username and the password. Then after that it is saying that it is login successful. Then you can send, as per the requirement, you can send any number of packets or any number of files by using the FTP. So this is the way how we are going to do, and this is the